Hey there guys, how's it going? I realized I was having some second thoughts about uploading this video or even recording it. This video does a lot have to deal with Halloween, and I know that's been like 2 weeks past already, or a week, and but mainly what I really wanted to cover, I really wanted to do this video, not just a Halloween video like I did last time. If you haven't checked that out, please do so. I did like a Sweeney Todd movie review and kind of a skit in the opening. Not really something. I mean, I'm kind of proud of it. It's kind of funny, different change of pace. But anyway, I really wanted to do these movie reviews just because I had a lot to talk about and share with you guys. But however, these are the movies I watched Halloween Day and Halloween Eve, as I like to call it before Halloween. So these are a lot of horror movies, and I realize that it's really late on Halloween, but I just want to get through these movies that I wanted to review with you guys. So, with all that being said, I'm gonna review a lot of movies, hopefully get it in one video, but the reviews are gonna be probably 2 minutes max, maybe, okay, 3 minute max reviews, and I'm serious by I say that. I'm not gonna say that much, but I'm gonna say what needs to be said of the movie in a short summary. So anyway, let's get started with House on Haunted Hill, 1950. Okay, so House on Haunted Hill is a very cheesy, low budget horror film that stars Vincent Price, the king of horror in my opinion. Some people might argue that Bela Lugosi or uh, who played Phantom of the Opera? Was that this guy? Was that Bela Lugosi? I'm not sure. But some people say that he's the master of horror. Some people even say Johnny Depp. But I say Vincent Price. He's definitely the master of horror. He's a great actor, and I love him. And this movie stars him in it. And the main plot of this film is Vincent Price is this $1 million man who um, host a party at this house known as Hill House, which is supposed to be haunted. There, he invites a bunch of people, I believe 9 guests, to stay at this house. Don't quote me on that, I may be wrong, but I believe it's somewhere around 9 or 10 guests. One of the guests is the owner. The previous owner to this house, Hill House, which is House on Haunted Hill title. And the reason why I'm holding up this, if you guys are wondering, is because 50 movies, it comes in this little box set, and I figured, hey, might as well, I like to hold things when I'm reviewing stuff. So, anyway, the previous owner dude is there, and he's all warning the people, this house is haunted, it's no good, blah. And to be honest, his acting, is pretty lousy, nevertheless, or nonetheless, or but anyway, yeah, this film is very cheesy but super entertaining. I'm gonna put this down now. You guys got the general idea. Super entertaining movie. I mean, this movie kept me on pace, and the pacing is very good of this movie. Even though it's made in 1959, it's a low budget horror film, but I consider it a classic. I really love this film. The only main thing I have issues with is some of the acting is pretty cheesy and pretty lousy. But overall, it's a good film. It has a nice kind of twist to it that you go like, yeah, you know what? That's kind of simple, but it works. I mean, I wasn't guessing it. Maybe that's because I'm stupid. I'm not sure. But I really like the ending to this film too. Again, very cheesy, but not cheesy to the point where it's like, okay, this is just stupid. If you want, this is kind of minor cheese. Now, I consider some films like a little bit cheesy, like some of the James Bond films. Actually, some of the Roger Moore James Bond films go into a minor cheesy category. And then there's super cheesy, where it's just like terrible acting, terrible story, terrible special effects. This doesn't fall in that category. It's more of the minor cheesy factor element to it, but it's very entertaining. Never, I don't know what I'm even saying anymore. But anyway, it keeps you guessing. The plot of this film, it's actually moving fast, kind of a mystery all around. Ties in with all the characters. You get to see an equal share of each and everybody's part in the film, and it's very good. I like it. Now, another thing I forgot to say in this film, let's talk about one person in particular. Richard Long as Lance Schroeder. Oh my gosh, what a character, I tell you. Gee whiz. Oh, excuse me, I'd like you to meet Lance Schroeder. How do you do? I mean, this guy is classic. He is easily my favorite part of the film, and I'm not even joking. I love the character of Lance Schroeder, and Richard Long plays him so kind of very cheesy in a way, but just so campy and just such a cliched womanizer character. I mean, this guy is such a flirt. He flirts with all the girls as soon as he gets the chance. I love how every scene, as soon as the main guy, the old caretaker for the house, is rambling on about this house is haunted, blah 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 blah. I love how he's always like smiling in the background. I mean, that would be me trying to make a joke out of this when it's not a situation to joke about. I mean, because I always laugh randomly. You could ask my friends that, and I don't know, because laughter makes life fun, right, guys? So anyway, I've spent way too much time talking about this movie. But anyway, I'm gonna give House on Haunted Hill, the 1959 version, an A minus. Don't know why I held up this. Anyway, let's get on to the next movie, The Omen. No, Halloween. My bad. Okay, Halloween. You've all heard of this. You've all mostly seen it. At least a lot of people. When I was growing up, or when I was growing up, back in my day, what a loser I am. But anyway, when I was littler, like in fifth grade or so, everybody was obsessed with not obsessed, but everybody, because these horror movies now, since their parents then started letting them watch it, or they snuck watching it, a lot of people were talking about the old ones like Friday the 13th, Halloween, and this was one film I saw with my friend, and it was, I remember the very beginning, not much story to it, but anyway, the plot of this film, great. Not gonna go into whole depth about this review, or this movie, because most people know it, and I don't really want to ramble on. So many people said anything. The only complaint I have with this film is the pacing. The pacing's slow, but that's okay, because just like other movies that I love, the pacing can be slow, but I love it. Just like Interstellar. The pacing is super slow, but I love it. This movie, however, they focus too much on the um what's her name? Jamie Lee Curtis, Lori. Yeah, that's her name. They focus too much on her friends, and it just gets boring. I mean, you see, her friend calling her boyfriend. They're making some innuendo comments and all, and just flirting with each other, and it's like they do that for too long. And there's other scenes like that too, and it's like I don't want to see this. So anyway, that's the only complaint I have about this film, and it kind of lasts a long time, like 40, 30 minutes, where it's just like focusing too much on Laurie's friends and not her and what's going on. But I love the stalkerish, creepy music. Soundtrack, easily the best of a movie, not just a horror movie. I mean, I really want to get this soundtrack. It's a great movie soundtrack. So anyway, Halloween, I know many people are probably going to disagree with me, but overall, as an entertainment value, I'm probably going to give Halloween an 8 out of 10. Yes, I know, I like House on Haunted Hill a little better just because that's a classic and it's more entertaining. This is still really entertaining and it's a better plot and better story, but overall, I have to say I like House on Haunted Hill a little better. But, still love Halloween, still a classic in my. Alright, next film I saw, this time I saw this one, Halloween Day, was The Omen. That creepy music and that creepy kid. Again, not gonna get into a whole lot of depth because most people know this film. But just gonna say, one thing. Well, the things that I dislike about this film. The things I dislike is probably some of the script. Not a lot of it, but some of the script between the wife and Gregory Peck. I'm terrible with characters' names. But yeah, Lee Remick and Gregory Peck. The dialogue between them, Lee Remick has some pretty good lines overall, but her dialogue sometimes is really weak. I mean, it's just kind of like bland. It kind of not cliche, but just kind of like stupid. Oh, Robert, I need a doctor. I'm starting to doubt my son. I think he's trying to kill me. Ugh. Kathy, dear, is it because we didn't give him a haircut at the age of 3? Yeah, probably a good idea because if you start with getting always if you ever have kids, that's my this is my kind of my news to you guys today. My quote of the day. If you guys ever have kids, make sure to cut their hair before it gets too long. Girls are an exception, but boys, no way. Or otherwise, you look like this piece of crap Damien, who's, look at that little devil spawn. Jesus Christ, scary as heck. But anyway, oh gosh, I gotta stretch out my mouth. That's how I exercise it to talk with you guys. I still can't do it. I still talk like Jeff Goldblum. But anyway, yeah, overall, I'm gonna have to give The Omen probably a 9 out of 10. You know, it's a great movie. The only thing I don't like is probably some of the dialogue and some of the acting by Lee Remick. But other than that, it's a great film. Check it out. Next film I got to share with you guys is Halloween 2 and 3. Running a little pushed on time, but I'll try to wrap it all in one video. Let's start with Halloween 2. Yeah, Halloween 2. Only thing I could say about this is I really wasn't that happy with it. I didn't do much for me, and I really didn't like it. I know, a lot of people disagree with me. A lot of people say this is the second best Halloween movie, but I really didn't like it. And the main reason is it just moves too darn slow and it's trying to compete with too much of being a slasher horror film. There's some kills that are necessary and good, and the kills are good in this. I mean, they're gorier, they're more graphic, stuff like that. But the main thing I dislike about this film is the slow long scenes in this movie. I'm not 100% sure if this film was directed by John Carpenter. I know the first one was. No, this was not directed by John Carpenter, but it was written by him. And I don't know whose fault it is, John Carpenter or the directors, but this film really goes so slow in some of the scenes. There's only two scenes where it's just so boring. This movie's an hour and a half movie, and you can either do two things with shortened movies like that are under an hour and 40 minutes. You can make them very tight and action packed, or like, you know, action as in maybe not always fist fights, but you know, action, what I mean. Or you can make it really slow and drawn out, and then at the very last 10 minutes of the film, you get at all the suspense and stuff. That is the wrong way to approach a shortened movie. This is a short movie. Most horror films of the 80s or 70s were short. The Friday the 13th movies were like an hour and 20 minutes long, most of them. But anyway, this film is an hour and 33 minutes. Wow, one length of a film that I didn't memorize. I'm mostly good with lengths of film. I can memorize them quick. But anyway, yeah, and this film just gets really too boring. You just see Laurie in the hospital, just kind of chilly, and Michael Myers is killing a few people. Pretty good kills, like I said. And if you're into the kills, then you'll like this film. But if you're into a story part, the story isn't that good. Now, if they added this film to Halloween 1, it would have been much longer. It would have been like 3 hours, and that would have been terrible because you never want to make a horror movie over 2 hours. Just never. The lights just flickered. Oh god, Michael Myers is gonna kill me. Crap. Anyway, you never want to make a horror movie over 2 hours. So for that shortened time period, you got to make it good. You got to make it lasting. So the plot is good, the dialogue is good. You need to make it really good. That's the whole bottom line. Horror movies are the movies that cost the lowest budget, but you got to make them good, especially if it's a shortened horror movie. You got to make it worthwhile and memorable. Look at the first Halloween. That's a classic among everybody, and it's a short movie. So this movie just spends too much time focusing on non-scary elements. It's not creepy. It doesn't have that value that the value of what the first film did. It's not a good sequel in my opinion, and I really dislike it because the script is okay, the acting's good between Donald Pleasence and everything, but just the scenes and the pacing of this film just go way past the first movie. And I complained of the first movie that it kind of lost some tone as in they focused too much on Laurie's friends, but this film is just drags on too much hospital sequences, too much fakey elements, and like what is with nobody in the hospital? I mean seriously, like there's no other patients besides Laurie and Michael Myers, and they try to copy too much of the set the first film at the end of this film. It's just like a recash, and it's like I've already seen this. Why do I want to see it again? And the scene where like Laurie's in her room, just like slowly sitting down as they play that creepy music. I mean, it's like that scene takes like 10 minutes, and it's just like, I've ranted on way too much about that film. I really don't like it. I'm gonna give Halloween 2 a 4 out of 10. But anyway, crap, I still got Halloween 3 to review. This is gonna be super quick, I kid you not. Okay, so anyway, Halloween 3, overall, a lot of people dislike this film. I like it. I think it's pretty cheesy, pretty campy, corny, whatever you want to say. But what really is interesting about this film, it's not even in the same Halloween franchise. Yes, it doesn't have Michael Myers, as everybody knows, but they make a reference to the first Halloween film. I mean, during the film, the guy's in the bar, and he's watching the first Halloween film, and he's like, "Can you change the channel or something?" It's so weird. Like, this movie isn't even in the same universe. It should have been called Season of the Witch, not Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. But anyway, yeah, not a really a likable character of the main guy. You know, he's kind of a womanizer, kind of a flirt. Makes out, tries to find the girls to get on with. But anyway, not much of a likable character. The villain's pretty crap, just some Irish businessmen. But overall, it's pretty entertaining, and the plot's actually pretty good, and the music is very good in this film. Almost not as good as the first soundtrack, definitely. Nothing can beat that, but good soundtrack. Anyway, I'm probably gonna give Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Sorry if you didn't want to. Sorry if that wasn't a good review, but anyway, probably gonna give that film, and what the heck, 7 out of 10. It's entertaining. The plot's not the greatest, but 7 out of 10. Perfect, decent grade in my book. So anyway, guys, longest video I've done yet, but I crammed all that stuff in. So yeah, I apologize again that it's, late, and I should have done this video a long time ago after Halloween, but what you gonna do, right? So anyway, guys, until then, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.